So this evening, I'm honored and excited to welcome my friend, Charles Pullman. And Charles is here this evening. Charles, raise your hand so everyone can see you. Charles is here this evening with his wife, Janine, and his daughter, and some of his grandchildren that are here as well, who live here in Houston. Charles and Janine are old friends from Dallas. And before I invite him to come to the pulpit to address this evening, let me tell you just a little bit about my friend Charles. Charles is senior counsel in the Dallas law firm of Meadows, Collier, Reed, Cousins, Crouch, and Ungerman, LLP, where he practices in the areas of tax, corporate, and real estate. He's also a CPA and is board certified in tax law by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization. He's also an Eagle Scout. In addition to his many numerous civic activities, Charles has been very involved for many years in Jewish organizations on a local level, state level, national level, and international level, primarily involved in helping the Jewish community in Medinat Yisrael, the state of Israel. Among others, he's involved in the Jewish Community Relations Council, American Jewish Committee, AIPAC, and is the former chair of the DFW region of Israel Bonds. Charles is currently a member of the board of directors of the Jewish Agency for Israel, North American Council. He's been to Israel more than 45 times since 1971, during which he visits and has met and talked with a wide spectrum of Israelis from all walks of life and traveled extensively throughout the state of Israel. He's a frequent lecturer and has written many articles on the conflict between Israel and the Arabs and Palestinians, his trips to Israel, the relationship and bond between diaspora Jewry in Israel, anti-Semitism, and Israel advocacy. It's my honor to welcome my friend Charles Pullman to Beth Yeshurun this evening.
Shabbat Shalom. If my voice is a little off, I brought Dallas pollen with me, and it's been with me all day. Before I get started, the rabbi gave me just a very limited time to talk, but I'm going to be back in November. The rabbi's been gracious enough to ask me to come back and speak to the 100 Jewish Men's Club, and then in January or early next year to speak to the youth. But I just want to mention that it's especially, as I sat here tonight, especially noteworthy, and to me, as I look at the rabbi, I look at his wife, and I've known both of their families in Dallas for a very, very long time. As a matter of fact, Lisa's mother and I served on the Plano City Council together. And I've been involved in Florence's political campaigns ever since. So it's sort of like being at home. I recognize faces, and little did I know that Lisa and Brian would one day get married and come together and be in one shul, and I'd be speaking at it. So it's really heartwarming for me. I want to talk to you tonight about two items. One's joy and one's gratitude. And they seem particularly relevant at this time of the year, since we are right now between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Joy I'm going to speak about with regard to our recent trip to Israel, which was in July. Janine and I spent 3 weeks in Israel. We rented an apartment not far in Tel Aviv from the beach. We rented a car, and for 3 weeks we sort of lived like Israelis. Because we've been there so many times and we know so many people, we traveled throughout the country. We were on the Golan Heights with a retired brigadier general. We were on the Lebanese border with a retired lieutenant colonel. She formed an organization. It's really like an intelligence organization called the Alma Center. We were on the Gaza border. We stayed on a kibbutz in the Gaza border. We were very, very near the fence. We were with military people. We were with security people. We went to the Jewish Agency Board of Directors meeting in Jerusalem, which was very interesting because you had Jews coming from all over the world. We attended the Maccabi games that were in Israel, which is just fantastic. You have all these young people coming together from throughout the world to compete against each other, and what do they have in common? They're all Jews. I spoke at a military base in the Negev to 15 civilian young people who had come to volunteer on the base. And I gave them a talk, not like tonight. I have a different talk that I'll give in November. And it was very interesting hearing what their experiences are in their own countries with the times that we're living in, which I'm sure you all are aware. And what I came away with, I mean, we stayed with family, we stayed with friends, we stayed in a friend's house. He had teachers and neighbors come over, and we really had some very, very interesting one-on-one discussions. And there's a lot of issues that we as Jews confront. But there's one thing that I came away with in this visit to Israel was the joy that you can feel when you're in Israel, among the Israelis. Notwithstanding the fact that just at the border with Lebanon or Gaza or Syria, there are people that want to do you harm. It's the joy. Where's that joy coming from? Well, maybe it's in the fact that when you go anywhere in Israel today, you see young women either pregnant or pushing baby carts. And the population growth is over 3.1, much higher than the Western world. The population of Israel right now is 9.5 million. Think about what it was in 1948. Since 1971, the Israeli population of Jews has increased over 250%. Since 1971 in America, the population of Jews is almost flat. It's 105%. They're projecting that by the year 2050, 2/3 of the Jews in the world will live in Israel. The Olim, just this past year alone, 60,000 Olim from 11 different countries came to Israel. The Ethiopians, the Jews from Ethiopia are now continuing to arrive. And in 2013, Janine and I and our daughter Jody is here, went to Ethiopia and came back. That feeling of joy. Here are people who really couldn't wait to get to Israel to experience the land of milk and honey. Israel also, since February, is receiving Ukrainian Jews. We met with 5 Ukrainian young people. They all had one thing in common. One morning in February of this year, they woke up to bombs in their neighborhood. After a week, their father said, "You need to leave. Go to the border." And who was at the border to greet them? The Jewish Agency. And where are they now? They're in Israel. They're safe. They missed their families. One young girl started crying. But the joy that you could see in their eyes that they were safe and maybe have a place where their parents can come, and of the Israelis that are helping them, of their purpose, of a meaningful life. Today, you're in Israel. Hebrew, not just in the Torah, as a modern language is being spoken. Wherever you go in Israel, you just can touch the living Judaism. Look, most of Israelis are secular. You ask them to come to a Friday night service and lead service? Are you kidding? But they don't have to. Where do they celebrate Purim? In the street. The safety. You know, you would think, and we've read about the suicide bombers, etc., just walk along the streets, any city. The cafes on the streets are packed. I found a nice little coffee shop near the apartment complex, and I just sat there for several hours until Janine told me it was time to leave, watching the people talking with each other. No sense of fear, no sense of despair. The young Israelis everywhere in Israel, especially in Tel Aviv, in military uniform. What are they doing? They're protecting their families. They're protecting their country with smiles on their faces. They have a purpose. The young Israeli families we met on the border with Gaza and Sinai, How many people here, if someone were to give you a cottage on the border with Gaza, would you go? These are families building communities. Why? Because they told us it's their land, and they're not leaving, even in the face of the rockets. The holy places, the Dome of the Rock, the Western Wall, the Baha'i Temple, pilgrims coming from all over the world to go to their holy places in safety. The safety, because everyone knows in Israel there's eyes and ears on the street to keep everybody safe. Do incidents happen? Yes. As a startup nation, every day some innovation comes out of Israel for the betterment of mankind. I mean, across the board. You name it, some Israeli is thinking about it. The LGBTQ parades, proudly, in Tel Aviv. People coming from all over the world to celebrate their sexuality. And yet at the same time, you have secular and religious Jews. Okay, they don't party together, but they're living together. In the cafes in Jerusalem, Arabs and Jews in the cafes together. In Tel Aviv at a seafood place, we went for dinner. Arabs and Jews at their tables eating dinner. I'm sorry, where's the strife? Where's there all this bad stuff that we keep hearing about? I guess I missed it. Somebody forgot to tell the Israelis. Israel has a vibrant democracy. Some people may think it's too vibrant. But that sense of community. Rabbi Sachs, of blessed memory, defined joy, simcha, as the sense of feeling of community that you share with others in the moment. You're living for the moment. That sense that makes you want to dance and sing. For 3 weeks, Janine and I experienced that joy, that simcha, at any hour, wherever you go, whoever you talk to, in their homes, on the street, on the beaches, packed with young people. It's clear what Israel's doing, what the Israelis are doing. They're planning for the future. The roads, the buildings, the hotels, the military bases that are expanding. They're building for the future. They're not caught up in a lot of the issues we have here in America. They know what they need to do in order to continue their prosperity. You drive around Israel today, I've been there a long, long time. There's more high-dollar cars driving around Israel now than there were before. It's high-tech. How many Israeli companies are selling for billions of dollars? How many Israeli innovators are being sought out by the Googles and the Microsofts? How many now Sunni Arab countries want to re-engage with Israel to establish ties? There's a shift in the air going on in the Middle East. There's no question in my mind. Israel's best days are yet to come. I'm enthusiastic for the future of Israel. I'm enthusiastic for the future of the Jewish people. And in Israel, for those that have been and those who are going, all you got to do is walk around. The biggest nuisance in Israel, if you're driving a car, are the young people on scooters weaving in and out of the cars as you're trying to get through this horde of traffic to get past the next light. They know where they're going, and they know what they're going to do. And then I got home, and then we settle into this period, these days of awe. And I just want to share with you, it made me realize something, and we said it tonight. Modim anachnu lach. We give thanks. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world today. I spend most of every day dealing with it. But I come to realize we got to take a pause. We need to give thanks for what we have. We need to appreciate what we have. Family, my grandchildren, which I have to tell you, I've only been a grandfather for 7 years, and I had no idea what it would be like before I had grandkids. And now it seems that every day is some new experience. The pride of being a Jew. I'm grateful for that. We as Jews have a purpose in this world. We have more than one purpose. I'm grateful for health, except when I get the pollen in Dallas, and it sort of keeps me up at night. And I'm grateful for being here tonight. I'm grateful for you coming to allow me to share this experience, to allow me to tell you a story that you won't read in the mainstream media, because we walked it. We lived it. It's there. Israeli, Jews, Arabs, Christians living side by side, going through the market in Jerusalem side by side. It's a fabulous experience. But I also come to realize that what I'm grateful for, I can't take for granted. We have to keep working at it, whether it's being a Jew or your family or your job. We have to keep working at it to continue to have it. So in conclusion, we have much to be joyful for. We have much to be grateful for. But there's much more to be done. I look out tonight and I see a lot of people, you know, sort of my age. We need to talk to our children and grandchildren. Make sure that they appreciate what we are grateful for. And that as they get older, they'll be grateful for it also. What we do and how we live our lives affects our children and grandchildren. And they're watching us. And they pay attention. The future will be challenging. Rabbi Sachs, again of blessed memory, said that faith is the courage to take risks and to live with uncertainty. And we'll do it. And we'll continue to do it. So, one final comment. I thought your service tonight so far has been great. I enjoyed it. I give compliments to the cantor, the rabbi, and all of you. If we ever lived here, I'd seriously consider joining. But we live in Dallas. You have much to be grateful for. And, you know, I'm not just telling that just so that I can get my honorarium, which I insisted be double what he offered. You really do. And I congratulate you for it. So, as we enter into next Tuesday night for Yom Kippur, L'Shana Tova Umutecha. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you very much, Charles. We appreciate you being here and sharing your thoughts and experiences about Israel, as well as we are very grateful for what you do for supporting a lot of Jewish causes. Thank you so much. And I speak on behalf of congregation and tell you we are overjoyed that you are here tonight, that you made the trip from Dallas, and to show our gratitude for you being here, we'd like to present you with a small token of our appreciation for being here and, again, sharing your thoughts with us. Shana Tova, Shabbat Shalom, and thank you again for being here.
And I invite everybody to come in November because I have a different speech and it's more important that It's just as important that you hear that.
Thank you. We look forward to November and January. Thank you.